Chicago Fire EP on Fennell's hashtag Stellaride Twist, Violet and Carver's Uncertain Future, and Firehouse Shakeup. Baby fever has hit hashtag One Chicago. Chicago Med isn't the only series in the franchise, closing out the season with an unexpected pregnancy. During Wednesday's Chicago Fire finale, Stella and Severide temporarily took in Natalie, who lied to her school about Stella being her guardian. Natalie's older sister assumed that Stella was going to fight her for custody, but Stella assured her that wasn't the case. And after helping to reunite the siblings, Stella took Severide to the bedroom to take a look at something, a positive pregnancy test. "Kelly, we're pregnant," she happily announced as he peppered her with kisses. Elsewhere in the episode, Violet left the letter she wrote to Carver on his windshield, but he didn't exactly respond as she hoped he would. Instead, Carver surprised Violet with the news that he applied for a job at the Denver Fire Department to get a fresh start. "I hope you find what you need there," a heartbroken Violet told him. And that was that, until Carver showed up at Violet's home to plant a big kiss on her and tell her that he loves her. She, of course, said it back. But does the couple even have a future, given that Jake Lockett, aka Carver, will not be returning as a series regular? In other major developments, Pascal was cleared of the murder charges. It was Lieutenant Vale and his obsession with Monica that led to the driver's death. And Herman finally admitted that a desk job is not for him. He stepped down to be a regular firefighter so that his buddy Mouch could take over as Engine's lieutenant. Below, showrunner Andre Newman talks hashtag Stellaride's pregnancy surprise, Pascal's future at Firehouse 51, and what's in store for Carver and Violet. The EP also addresses Ritter's non-exit in the finale, following the news that Daniel Curie won't be back full-time next season. TV Line in congrats to Stella, who's pregnant, but that's not something she wanted before. So how's she feeling about it now? Have her thoughts on pregnancy changed? Yeah, I think she has changed, and we kind of looked at the evolution of the season, the evolution of Kid as a character, as somebody who starts really talking about things, like when her cousin shows up, and she's talking about things she never talked about before and kind of getting it all out in the open with Severide. They really got close in this season in a way that they haven't before, and it came to a head with the hospital storyline with the baby, because they butted heads a bit during that story, and they were kind of on other sides, and then they ended up talking that out and coming together. I felt like, at the end of that episode, they were stronger than ever, and how they left that episode, even though it was a beatdown, emotionally, was much stronger as a couple. Between that and trying to take care of Natalie, and feeling like she was getting Natalie on the right track, it boosted Kid up to a place where she maybe started thinking, maybe I can do all these things that I thought I couldn't do. And pregnancy is one of them. She's kind of leaving it to fate a little bit. If a baby comes from adoption first, or if I get pregnant, let's see. Maybe there's a reason for all of this, and I trust that I can handle this now, and Severide can too. So that's where she was at. How she reacts, really, on the other side, that's something else altogether. It's amazing. If you Google firefighter adoption, how many firefighters have adopted kids, babies, children they helped in the line of duty, which is amazing to me and always such beautiful stories. So we didn't worry so much about the repetition of that. It was more about the journey of Kid's character, to getting to a place where she decided that both of those things she was open to, all of a sudden. If that baby had worked out at the hospital, they would have taken it home and been the most loving, wonderful parents to it. And like happens sometimes and happened to one of our writers, they adopted and then surprisingly got pregnant. That's what happened, by the way, with Cruz. He had a baby, and then along came Javi. So sometimes life just gets messy in that way, and we love living in that space too. So that could happen with Severide and Kid. You never know. I think so. The difference between when a male firefighter gets pregnant and when the female firefighter is pregnant, I think, is really interesting to explore, and how each are affected, and also being parents at the end of the day and the stakes. When they're a couple, there's stakes for sure, but when they've got a baby, the stakes go through the roof. So those are all the things that we can play with going down the line. Exciting. Yeah, it's an almost impossible situation because he sees the only road to getting better and staying sober as getting away from all the things that trigger him and sent him off spiraling. So he has a big decision to make, and if he makes one to stay, does that put this onus suddenly on Violet, like he stayed for her? And if he can't stay well and stay clean when he's there, is it her fault? So it's this beautiful coming together, but it brings up all these questions and impossibilities. So we'll see how that shakes out too. We don't have anything solidly planned for him. It's a great thing that we have people come and go on this show. They'll leave and then we'll get to see them again. 13 seasons later, we're bringing back Cruz's Flacco cousins from season 1. Bless, it's like you never know what will happen. Anything could happen with those two. We love Jake. We love the character of Carver. Those are really hard to do. There's always the possibility they'll try that, but I don't know if that helps him. If what he's really trying to do is get away from the space where he fell apart and started to spiral, if getting in a relationship with somebody who was all part of that is in the cards. I'm not sure. We're still working on all of that because we're not even back for next season. And all this, a lot of it was surprises. We're going to play with all this and see what we get and how much time we get with Daniel Carey, who we love, and the character who we love. There's lots of possibilities there. He will stay as battalion chief until the CFT axe starts lurking above his head. Who knows if that will happen? But yeah, he's a battalion chief, which means he's in charge of a couple of houses in the district. But I think his bonds with 51 have only become stronger over the course of this season. The season 13 finale of Chicago Fire came in like a 5-alarm blaze, scorching emotions, testing loyalties, and leaving fans breathless with a series of gut-punch twists. True to its legacy, the finale didn't go quietly. Instead, it ignited new beginnings, charred some old ones, and left more than a few embers glowing for season 14. Here's a creative breakdown of the finale's biggest moments, including the shocking hashtag Stellaride twist, Violet and Carver's cliffhanger, and a shakeup at Firehouse 51 that may permanently alter its DNA. Hashtag Stellaride, when forever becomes for now. It was supposed to be their fresh start. After months of trying to find solid ground, Stella Kidd and Kelly Severide finally looked like they were ready to rebuild. The couple had weathered long-distance stints, near-death calls, and emotionally raw arguments. But the season 13 finale delivered a twist nobody saw coming, a quiet, tear-soaked separation. The emotional sledgehammer dropped late in the episode, following a routine call that turned traumatic. A fire at a South Side apartment complex left Stella and Severide facing a harrowing decision: save a child or risk losing each other. Severide, always the hero, plunged into the smoke without hesitation, triggering something deep inside Stella. Later at Molly's, surrounded by the laughter of their 51 family, she pulled him aside. There was no yelling, no drama, just two people who realized they were standing at different crossroads. "I love you," Stella whispered, her voice steady but her eyes swimming. "But we can't keep dragging each other through this back and forth."